Anyway, all right, g'day and welcome back to another episode of the Wing It Podcast. Episode number 20.
20.
Insert like kids going woo noises. You know the ones?
Yeah, I'll try and do that in the post production.
You know the ones going woo, yeah, woo. Yeah, that one. Anyway, episode 20. I've got nothing for number 20. Do you?
No.
20...
It is Vandenberg's number, I believe. Aaron
Who?
Vandenberg
Aaron Vandenberg.
for the Demons. You probably don't know him.
20.
Plays for the
Rosie. I think
Toes.
Rosie's 20.
He is.
That's it.
Yeah.
2020, he won. Okay, no,
I guess.
I've got nothing. All right, anyway, cool.
We're going to have to actually come up with something before the podcast for each one.
Nah, that makes it like very scripted. I like it
very
being
true.
off cuff.
I'd rather just wing it.
Yeah, that's enough. Anyway, we got some good news today. We've got great news. We've Doug and I have our own from our beautiful sponsor, Brown Bats, as you can see on Instagram and YouTube right now. We have our mugs, so cheers to that for the Spotify listeners. How about that? Oh, I saw the spike on the thing. That was very loud.
Yeah,
So hopefully
apologies to headphone users.
Yep, apologies to them. Anyway, we're going to kick off the podcast. We changed it up last week, and I hope you liked it.
We got really good reviews from it.
Did we? If we did, actually. No, you're right. We had emails. We're inundated, actually. So
Yeah, we were.
We're inundated. So we're going to keep with that format a little bit too. And from now on, when things get a little bit average in the season, we're going to start bringing in some more and more segments as much as we can. Because we
Spice
think,
it up.
I think people like segments. Not ones that have to be every week. We can spice it up. So
And let us know in the comments if you'd like us to have little specific stingers for every segment, like little theme music and stuff like that. Because I quite like those as well. AFL Exchange has them. They're really good.
I think that's more Dogger saying he wants you to hear it. So don't email us saying and you like it just because Dogger wants it. Anyway, let's kick it off with let's go straight to our rumour mill, should we?
Yeah,
well, you know,
right into it.
we know what we're doing, so everyone knows. So get straight into the rumour mill. Well, first thing I've got on here, Eagles. What the fuck is going on with the West Coast Eagles?
You start, I'll finish.
Yeah, because you hate them. Look, they're playing away from home, and we know they're temperamental away from home, but there's no excuse to be blown out by 50-odd by doggies, and then come out and get blown out by literally 100 points, like 95, whatever it was in the end,
97 points, yeah.
by the Swans.
The last time they lost by that margin was 2000.
Really? Because
Yep.
West Coast have been the model of consistency for our whole entire lives.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's been no better team since the day I was born in terms of consistency. They never tank. They're always around. They're either at the top of the ladder, or worst case scenario, they're like around that 5 to 10.
Yeah,
They're
battling
always
for
battling
finals.
for finals. They never go 15 or lower. I've never seen it.
No.
I can't think of a time they ever were. They were 04, 05s, they were competitive. Early 2010s, they were competitive. Grand final, 2018. They're always competitive. And they should be. And Wayne Carey has them as his tip for the grand final. And they go out and dish this up against two very good teams. And Sydney aren't amazing. They're a top 8 side, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not Western Bulldogs and Marvel. What is going on there?
Mate, I'm going to try and stay calm for this because it's pissed me off for years now. And
You hate them.
finally I've got a voice. Finally, there's people out there listening to me and my hatred for the Eagles. But last week was just, it epitomised the Eagles for me. This is everything I've been talking about coming to a head for the West Coast Eagles. You're not liking that? Is that annoying you?
Yeah, a little bit. There we go.
Everything that is coming to a head, and it's all really happening now, and they're just falling. It's the fall of the empire.
I really don't know what it is. It can't. The weather, yeah, sure, but that shouldn't be a factor.
Yeah.
Game plan has to be changed for certain teams. It doesn't seem like they know how to change any sort of plan at all. If plan A doesn't work for West Coast, like you've said, then what's plan B? They don't have a plan B.
One sec, this actually really pissed me off.
Yeah, it's real bad. I don't know what it is.
Gain up all?
I think it's this. I think it's this one.
I'll put it on my laptop.
What's that hammer for, though, is it?
Right. I don't know. That should piss me off.
Makes it worse. I thought this would actually make it better.
It's probably one of those things like you can't actually even hear it, but like we can hear it.
I thought this would make it better because it's like, less.
Yeah. I'll like tuck this in here. Anyway, where were we?
Oh, I have no idea.
Talking about the podcast. I'm just being put off by that message. It was just come up. Please get rid of it. I couldn't stop laughing before.
I know.
Scroll down. Just scroll down. Please. Thank you so much.
Fuck's sake.
But no, this is everything that I've been saying about West Coast for the last few years now. So if the going gets tough, then the tough get going. And there's no weaker team than the West Coast Eagles at the moment in the AFL.
Now, I know you hate them, but I'm going to ask you the question. Do you think it's personnel or coaching? Or
Both. It's the entire culture of the West Coast Eagles. So
And culture comes from the top. So do
Exactly.
you blame Simo?
I blame Simo. I blame everyone.
Really?
Yep.
And Gaff was out, and he's the epitome of soft.
Yep, absolutely.
And he was out, and they still were soft.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like,
They
honestly,
suck.
the West Coast Eagles have a great game style. Kick, mark, when they're like 96 and 1 or something like that, when they have over 90 marks or something like that.
Stupid marks, yeah.
They are undefeated when having more marks than the opposition. And that kick mark game style is fantastic. When it's at Optus, it's 22 degrees and the sun's shining.
Yeah, on a wide oval.
On a wide oval. But when it's anywhere but Optus, if it's raining, if it's windy, if you've got one player out, anything like that happens, they fall to shit. And we saw on the weekend, when all of those things happen, they're on the small ground, doesn't suit them. They're away from home. The weather's shit. It's raining. It's blowing. Gaff's out. Everything. It shows that they can only score 9 points in the first half.
I think it went longer than that too.
It was 70 to 9 in the first half.
Disgusting.
And you're meant to be a
Top 4
Premiership contender this year.
That's bad.
Honestly, just I don't know what it is. It's a pure culture problem because you look at the teams. You look at the teams of past of West Coast. They've always just been tough. They've always been great at home, but they've always been able to get those tough wins away from home as well.
Yeah, you're right. And when you look at that West Coast Premiership team, which is very similar of a team, but you look at it, they still were able to get the job done away from home when they had to.
Exactly.
They won the
MCG.
grand final of the MCG,
Prime
down
candidate.
5 goals in the first quarter. But they still won games during that season. I remember tough games. Went, wow, how good was that by them?
Yep.
But that's gone now. I could not. If they play North Melbourne in Tasmania, I'm tipping North Melbourne.
Yep. 100%.
Like that's how it's gone now with
Yeah.
them, and it's got to be frightening for a West Coast fan. So they got a long way to go, West Coast. I thought they were a top 4 or 5 lock for me, a top 5 lock for me. Now they're struggling for the 8.
I called at the start of the season they will not make the 8, and they will not make the 8.
They're sitting. I think they're sitting in 7th as we speak.
Yeah.
About 2 points clear of 8, and then 4 points clear, or about 6 points clear of sitting 9th.
Ninth.
But tantalisingly close for them. They are very lucky that they're going back to Optus this weekend for
very
North
lucky.
Melbourne. And you know what? They'll probably beat North Melbourne by 100 points.
Yeah.
So that's just something they would do. They
It
don't
is.
deserve it, but that's something they would do. Anyway, all right. Next thing on the rumour mill. It proceeds on from what we just spoke about.
I like it.
Monday
Good
night
segue.
footy is back.
It's back. You couldn't believe when I mentioned it to you.
I thought you were taking the. I actually thought I genuinely thought you were talking about either NRL or Euros or something.
Yeah,
I
nothing.
went, what are you talking about, Monday Night Footy? I went, oh, what is it? State of Origin? Like, what is it? It's back.
It's
Thank
back.
God.
The best. MNF.
The best. I like Monday Night Footy more than Thursday Night Footy. Monday Night Footy is awesome.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
I would love to have it every year, every week, Monday and Thursday.
Yeah, it should be a staple.
Just drop a Sunday game.
You look at the NFL, Thursday and Monday nights are the biggest
They're
viewing.
the prime times.
It's so big that the NFL doesn't have Friday night.
It doesn't need it.
football because they don't care about Friday night football over there. It's Thursday and Monday prime games.
And why wouldn't we drop a Sunday 2 o'clock and a Saturday 12 o'clock, drop them off the schedule and replace it with a Monday night and a Thursday night?
100%. You've got enough marquee games every week, and if you don't, put a game on like they've done this week with the Crows Bombers, which is a great game. A lot of people will watch that.
Oh, 100%. Because you know why they watch it? Because it's on the TV and nothing else is on a prime time schedule.
Exactly right.
So great that Monday Night Footy's back. I love it. It's going to make it an exciting week this week.
Yep.
It's going to fly by.
And this the game that's on, it's objectively a shitter of a game.
Oh, yeah.
West Coast, North Melbourne. If this was on,
To the words out my mouth.
it would be Saturday 12:15, something like that.
Would you watch this game if this game
No.
was on at 12:15 on Saturday?
No.
No. I don't think
Unless
there's
I was
many
in
people.
lockdown, no.
Oh, even then, you'd be struggling to find it because there'd probably be something else on at the same time.
Not wrong.
I don't think there's many people in South Australia that would watch this game at all
No.
if it was on a Saturday or a Sunday because it'd either be one, a clash, or two, you can't be fucked.
Yeah.
Now it's on Monday, and I guarantee every single person in SA who likes footy will be watching this game.
It will have 10 to 15 times the amount of viewers it would have had. Guarantee
Even
it.
more. It would be awesome. So, and I think they'll see this and go, bloody hell, the TV ratings are through the roof. We really need to
And
start
it's just more
considering
money
this.
for them.
And it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
They can add that with their Thursday night package they're trying to sell to Stan,
Yep.
whatever they're trying to do.
Imagine a 5-day footy weekend.
It's unreal.
Unbelievable.
It'd be fantastic. I checked the count out, didn't think it was 5. It'd be fantastic. Anyway, that's the second last thing. And the last thing on the rumour mill, if I can read my thing.
Clarko, replacement plan.
So it's just come out, breaking news this afternoon, that Hawthorn have elected Sam Mitchell as their next coach.
Successor.
The successor in the year 2023, so 2 seasons, end of 2 seasons away, to replace Alistair Clarkson.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on this? Because I think it's stupid.
I think it's genius. I think it's objectively genius.
Explain.
All right, so hypothetically, they could have this behind the scenes. We all sort of knew this was going to happen when Sam Mitchell took over Box Hill. Obviously, the B side, the VFL side to Hawthorn.
Yep.
We knew Sam Mitchell was going to end up taking over probably at the end of Clarko's contract.
Yep.
But now it's out in the media. It's locked in. They would have, I presume, signed a contract for this. So now Sam Mitchell, as we saw today, has pulled himself out of the Collingwood job.
Yep.
And Sam Mitchell will not be going anywhere until he is the coach of Hawthorn. It provides him with the clarity, provides the players, the club, the fans, the entire league with the clarity of that succession plan, rather than it just being we presume this is what's going to happen.
So you think this is more of a, okay, we got to lock him up because he will get snapped up type
100%
scenario.
will.
So why is Sam Mitchell so hotly wanted when he's been at the AFL for not even 5 years and he's done nothing? Why is this a thing?
Well,
and if we're being honest, Hawthorn have receded terribly.
Yeah.
Understandably with the list. I'm not saying it's got anything to do with the list.
Yeah.
But they've receded. They're bottom 2 side as we speak. Why is he so hotly wanted?
Well, when you coach under, as much as I don't like him, Adam Simpson, who was a disciple of Clarko, and then go and sort of help build a premiership side, and then come back to Hawthorn, and he sits in the box every weekend with Clarko. So he's doing the top apprenticeship you could possibly be doing.
And how many coaches have done that and failed? Who was Carlton's ex-coach for? Jeff Teague.
Brendan Bolton.
Yep, there's another one. He even went back there. There is plenty.
I know, but it's worked with a lot of people as well. It's worked with Hardwick, worked with Simpson, and hopefully will work with Sam Mitchell now.
I think
I'm willing to take that risk.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm willing to take that risk.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. We are backing this off Sam Mitchell, who's done nothing in his career. He hasn't. And all due respect to Sam Mitchell, he hasn't had the chance to prove anything yet. So I'm not taking that away from him. But we are going off a guy who's a very smart footballer, don't get me wrong. And he's done it the right way, went to West Coast as a coaching/player role, learned from Simo, comes back to Hawthorn, learns from Clarko. Makes sense. But to get rid of the best coach we've ever seen, pretty much, I'll put him in the top echelon of coaches.
Yeah.
In 2 years, in the middle of a rebuild, for no reason, is a joke. Alistair Clarkson is 53 years old.
Yeah.
53.
But I don't think he's going to want to go through another rebuild.
If that's the case, he goes, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
Then so be it.
Yeah.
Then
that's what I presume is the
I
case.
would presume that as well. But then again, I would be shocked as well. At 53, I'd be shocked. And then Collingwood are going to get Alistair, going to get Choco, for example, who Caro is reported with, 63 years old. And Choco is a fantastic coach and should have got a job by now. But the fact that unless Alistair Clarkson has said, I don't want to do it, then this is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Because Collingwood, Carlton will be in the market. They'll be shit by 2023. They'll be in the market. Port probably in the market by 2023.
Yeah, 100%.
Alistair Clarkson comes off the market. I guarantee if he's gone, I'm not going through a rebuild, and Port Adelaide goes with Rosie, Butters, Dersma, our young team coming through going, here's $1 million
and
a
Ollie
season.
Wines is only 26.
And Ollie Wines exactly right. Here's $1 million a year. He'll be doing that in a heartbeat. And they're letting him go? I don't get it.
Well, he just doesn't fit their timeline in terms of he's already had that. I understand the age point of view that you're talking about, but in that timeline, in his career aspect, he's going to look for another challenge, and he's going to want to jump on, as you said, a team that's contending, a team with a semi-young core, but still contending, where Hawthorn are going to be in full-blown rebuild in 2023. So they're going to want a new youthful coach, fresh face to come in and lead that next generation.
See, I hate that.
And Clarko is the old generation.
Oh, that's bullshit.
No, he is though. Like a lot of players will respect him, but seeing him as that coach who won those premierships for Hawthorn. They need a fresh face, fresh blood to lead a new generation of Hawthorn premierships, hopefully, for them.
I'm not saying you're wrong, and I get what you're saying, but I can't stand that point of view. You look at the NFL, for example. Andy Reid, God, was he tried and tested? Fail. A little bit success, fail, and now look at him. He makes it work. Belichick's going through a rebuild right now. Is anyone thinking about sacking Belichick?
No.
God, no. He's got Cam Newton at quarterback. No one's thinking, and Edelman's gone. They're all gone. No one's thinking, let's blow it up. Let's get in the next Sean McVay, which is what a lot of teams want. They want the new Sean McVay, which is why I think AFL want this new young Sam Mitchell toy, and I don't get it. There's a reason why Collingwood are going back for Choco instead of getting some young Brendan Bolton.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's old generation. You are right. I understand that point of view, but for me, I want an old head who can nurture the kids and knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
For me, I'll be giving RSA Clarkson a 10-year contract and go and get us through this rebuild again. And why do they have to go through a full-blown rebuild? Sydney never did it. West Coast never did it. And they're always contending.
I think it's important that they do.
We don't have to. And when you have a great coach like a John Longmire, Horse knows what he's doing. And with West Coast, all through the years of their coaches, whether it's Simo, whether it was bloody Worsfold, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a straight to the bottom, straight back up again. You don't want to get stuck like North Melbourne and Carlton, who've been stuck there for donkeys.
And Demons.
And Demons, exactly. A lot of teams are. But I don't know. I get it.
It's an interesting take.
It is.
I think with a rebuild, you want a new, young, fresh face.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, you're right.
And Mitchell, probably isn't even 40 years old.
No.
He's probably, right in that cusp, early
so
40s.
Young. He's fresh out.
And he comes in and all the players go, oh, I can relate to this guy far more than I can Clarko. You reckon Clarko relates to Will Day?
No, but do you think...
Not at all. I think Sam Mitchell would 100%
Do you think Will Day respects Sam Mitchell like he would respect RSA Clarkson?
100%.
I don't think so.
Clarko, do you think he respects Clarko?
Of course he does.
And how much do you reckon Clarko respects Sam Mitchell?
Oh, probably a fair bit.
So how much do you reckon he's talked him up? All the players will have the utmost respect for him.
I'm sure he has, but it's that mateship. It's like, oh yeah, this is Sam Mitchell. Some of the players have played with him.
Yeah.
Burgoyne, Liam Shields, Stratton's gone. What's his name? Brewston.
Yeah.
Gunston, they've played with him. I don't know if that works for me.
Oh.
I see it with Michael Voss at Brisbane.
Yeah.
He comes straight in and straight back out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Matthew Primus at Port Adelaide, straight in, straight back out.
Well, there's only one way to find out, I guess.
I just think when you've got something, when you've got the iron ore of diamond, you don't fucking lose it, do you? That's what I'm thinking about. You've got the absolute epitome of what you want as a coach.
Yeah.
He's gone through rebuilds. He's made that team, won 4 flags, made 5 grand finals. You don't want to lose it. And now they're going with an untried, untested gamble.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Anyway,
yeah. I think they're just on different trajectories. So I guess we'll sort of find out how it unravels and see where Clarko goes next.
This is 2 years away. So
where's your bet for where Clarko goes next in 2023?
See, now this goes back to what we were saying before. Has he said, I'm retiring, and therefore this is why Sam Mitchell's coming in?
Yeah.
Or has he been pushed out because they want to keep Sam Mitchell? I'm going to go with the latter, and therefore he will be up for contract. I can't see him leaving Victoria because he's too old and too settled. 2023, who's going to be on the market? Probably wouldn't be shot if Carlton is still in shit.
Yeah.
Probably goes to a Carlton or a Collingwood for me. Collingwood, I think, will find a coach this year, whether it be Choco, but I can't see that being a long-term replacement. So one of those two for me.
I'm going to say Port Adelaide.
Goes back to Port Adelaide.
Got the roots there. I don't know why. No rationale behind it. Pretty much what you said before. Got that young core. They're going to be contending in a couple of years still. And I think Clarko can come in there and really shake them up, and he'll win a premiership at Port Adelaide.
Well, that's where he came from. We're very good. We've had a very good coaches box and coaches players throughout the years. We are one of probably the best breeding ground in the AFL, I want to say. So,
no.
Yeah, for sure.
I would not agree.
No doubt.
For Hawthorn.
Where they all come from. So, exactly. So, you know what? I can't see him leaving at that stage of his career in life with children and whatever he's got going on in his life. Marriages, leaving Victoria. That's the only thing I can see. So, anyway, great conversation. We'll bring that up again in 2023 at episode 400. Moving on to our review. That's news done. That was a good rumour mill. I like the rumour mill.
Rumour mill's good.
Let us know in the comments if you like the rumour mill, where it's a bit more of a discussion about the things that are hot this week. And You get some good outtakes like that.
It's more just our opinions as well.
100%.
Like a little bit of the facts we see, obviously reported, but more of our opinions.
And you'd rather, I think you'd rather hear us talk about that than, say, North Melbourne taking on St Kilda at Etihad.
I don't know. It's pretty good, though.
No. All right. Let's move on to our review from last week. I've got 4 games here. They're 4 best games for me, no doubt. Thursday night, Gold Coast. My, but we can call our Hot Wing. Our Hot Wing, Gold Coast beating the Richmond Tigers. Woo!
That
the
is
Suns.
$2
odds.
2 prime time Hot Wings in a row.
Back to
$5
back.
odds.
How about that?
Both against Richmond.
Wow.
I called St Kilda $5, and you called Gold Coast $5.
How about that?
Unfortunately, we did do a combined one where I added in Max King 5 goals.
And he kicked 4.
He kicked 4 goals.
We did say take 4 at $5. We did say you take the 4, why not?
Exactly.
But regardless, great bet. We smashed that game in. So, well, anyway, what do we say? But what can we say about that game is, sound the alarms.
They're
getting awkward at Richmond, isn't it?
Do you know what's going to happen, though?
What?
Guarantee it. They're going to hover around 7 or 8. Everyone's going to talk about how they're done.
Oh, they're 9th or 10th now.
Yeah, I know, but they'll hover around 7 or 8 the whole time. They'll come into finals and they're just going to blow someone away in the first game. And it's just going to be like, Richmond back. I don't know how far they'll go, but I can so see that happening. They'll come against a top 4 side or, whatever, like whoever they come against. And if they're 8th, you do not want to be finishing 5th.
We're saying this, Dog and I were talking this morning, we're saying, do you want to finish 4th and play either Brisbane at the Gabba or whoever finishes top, or finish 5th and play 8th? Imagine you strive all year and you lose out on 4th on percentage.
Yeah.
And you have to go and play fucking Richmond at the Adelaide
At the
Oval.
MCG or something.
Oh, imagine you're Melbourne, you're going to play in the MCG. Imagine, or Port's going to play at Adelaide Oval, who we lost to last year in a prelim. Imagine playing Richmond and you finish 5th and you get them at 8th. You'd be going, oh, fuck this. Like, you'd be thinking, is this a joke? Is this a piss take? Like, where's Ashton Kutcher? I'm being pranked. Like that, you'd be fuming.
Yeah.
So, you know what? And they'll probably get all their players back right when they need to. But right now, they're in trouble.
It's panic stations.
They've got another tough game this week.
Yeah.
Against who have they got? They've got Collingwood. Collingwood are bound to win eventually with this new coach.
They need to.
Exactly. And they haven't been playing
bad
football.
They haven't won yet, to be honest with you.
They haven't been playing bad football. Got blown out and then came back in Saints.
Yeah.
But, panic stations at Richmond. Not too much to say about Gold Coast. They deserve this win. I said they were due, but I don't think Stewie Dew was due. But there's nothing else to say about that game, I think. They were just due for the win and the timing worked out.
Why aren't they playing like that every week? They played with immense pressure. They played their game style and didn't let the opponent dictate what they were doing. And they have not been like that all year.
Not once. And Noah Anderson out hurt.
And Hugh Greenwood.
And Hugh Greenwood, I thought, okay, replaceable because they have a lot of big bodies.
Yeah.
But Noah Anderson, I thought, that's a bit of class on the outside they're going to miss.
Yeah.
Jack Lukosius filled that role better than Noah Anderson has all year.
And Braden Fiorini came in.
Feta
and was unbelievable.
They call him the Feta, I believe.
I'll take your word for it.
They call him the Feta.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they call him the Feta. He was phenomenal.
And also, shout out to Will Power, friend of the podcast.
Will Power, big friend of the podcast, of course. He loves the podcast, as we know.
He was in the DMs the other day, so
he loves the podcast.
Shout out to Will Power.
The inaugural 2-time.
Yeah, the only ever 2-time
player of the week.
Player of the week. So he played his 50th game on the weekend. Congratulations to him.
He was very happy to hear us say congrats to him.
He's
a big fan.
He loved it. Yeah, he was. I think he was a bit starstruck actually.
Yeah, he was.
Don't really blame him, to be honest.
Neither.
But no, great game from him as well. But just an all-round performance. And I do want to shout out Chrissy Burgess as well. So he ended up taking, I think it was like 7 contested grabs, kicked a goal or 2, had 24 hit-outs, and was just huge around the whole ground.
Huge 88 games in the Pine for you.
Yeah, I know. So 88 points on the Pine on Dream Team, but he's up over 400k now. So who would have thunk it?
You'd take that, not me.
Pretty good. So,
but great win to the Gold Coast. Thank you for filling in our Hot Wings, and we'll be back next week with the Hot Wings. No Gold Coast Hot Wing this week.
No.
All right, as we love the Suns. On to our next game. We have GWS outlasting. I said outlasting because it was a punishment the last few minutes. It was defense outlasting the Demons. Doggo.
Yeah, so they managed to keep up the damn wall in the last quarter when we were really trying to pile it on. But we were just I think the best way to describe it is really arrogant. So we came in, we expected to win on our home deck against a team who was full of players who haven't really played at the MCG too much. We thought we had the wood on them from the win earlier in the year when we were beaten by 30 odd, but I said it before and I'll say it again. It's always really tight between us and GWS. and proved it again. Like, you really don't know who's going to win. They've had the water on us for a few years now. So it was our Brown Bats Bet of the Week.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Round of
it
applause.
did end up getting up. So that's fantastic.
Easy bet.
We've already got the kitty filled up a fair bit, over $100 now. So,
Yep.
but no, just such a lackluster performance. I barely want to even talk about it. Joel Taylor will get on my back because I'm not raving on about Demons for 1 week. But hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Hopefully it isn't a sign of things to come, should I say. And it's a real ability for us to now bounce back this week.
Kick up the arse.
Kick up the arse we needed. Stop being so arrogant. We've lost 3 of our last 5, I think so. So went games we really shouldn't have lost. So just maybe needed that kick up the arse and getting sort of grounded a little bit, and hopefully we're going to bounce back this week against your mob.
Hopefully not, but you did need that reality check, and GWS are no slouch.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wouldn't say that you've lost the game to a Crom. It wasn't like that. You've lost to a decent team.
Yeah.
So who also had to kick up the arse week before, and
Exactly.
that's why we beat them.
Bad timing.
100%.
well.
Bad timing for you guys. You came in a little bit complacent against a team who needed to respond.
Yeah.
So not a bad loss at all. All right, moving on to the next game of the week. Lions outlasting, I think demolishing.
Yeah,
demolishing the Crom, 50 points. I actually bet them by exactly 52,
Yeah.
and that was the final margin, I believe.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. $50 voucher at the pub.
Is that actually true?
This is
Why not?
live breaking news. I picked them by exactly 52 margin.
That's unbelievable.
So $50 voucher at the pub. Thank you, Morford Arms.
Not too bad at all.
Obviously, Morford Arms, big sponsor of the show.
Oh, but yeah, big fan of the show.
Great sponsor. They just don't know it yet, but huge sponsor of the show.
Exactly.
So
We're actually more sponsored them, actually.
yeah, we
on
sponsor
a
them
regular basis.
horrendously.
No.
Anyway, so yes, got that. Lions just flex their muscles. They're a bloody good team. They're going to be hard to beat. Crom actually showed a bit of glimpses early on, but got outclassed, especially once Tex went down.
Yeah, I think the first 3 quarters, the Crom were actually really competitive. And Jared Lyons said that in his post-game little presser. So, yeah, the Crom actually really impressed me in this game. Obviously, the Lions, I think, are the best team in the comp, the team to beat right now.
They are still number 1 in the power rankings.
Yeah, I called them for the Premiership at the start of the season, and I'm still going to stick true to that. So, no, they were just clinical on the day. In the 4th quarter, they piled it on, even when players like Dane Zorko weren't stepping up. So, well, he sort of stepped up in his own way in the end, only touched the pill about 9 times before the last couple of minutes of the 4th quarter, and ended up on 12 tackles, over 100 DT. And
a joke if you're going against him in DT.
Oh, yeah, he just went crazy. So he sort of helped out the team in his own way. And like players like Zach Bailey stepped up in Lachie Neal's absence with 10 clearances, I think we were looking at, and a few goals as well. So
Bailey huge.
Yeah, it was massive, and he's really proven that he can be like maybe one of the premier midfielders for the Brisbane Lions
for the competition.
in the competition in the coming years. So competition is definitely in safe hands with him, but the Lions were impressive, and I think there's just a sign of things to come for them.
Did you know Zach Bailey was an SA boy?
Yeah, I learnt that on the broadcast.
As did I.
He went to South Australian school, is what was said. Oh. So I don't know if he's from South Australia.
Yeah, because I went, huh?
Yeah,
on the broadcast.
Do you know what school it was?
No idea.
I've been asking around. No one knows.
Interesting.
I'll find out.
We'll have to Google that. Anyway, on to the last game of the round we're speaking about is Port spoiling poor Sean Burgoyne's 400th game. Port did what we need to do. We put Hawthorn to the sword early. We looked really average after half time, to be fair. 3/4 time and a third.
I think you just fell asleep.
Yeah, I think the job was done. So we didn't really. The pressure was off. We stopped caring, to be fair. But I feel bad for Sean Burgoyne. He deserved a better send off than that. But a good win by Port. But I think for the Wing It podcast point of view, the biggest point of speaking point from that game has to be Ollie Wines. 3 Brownlow votes. Lock it in, Dogger. How good is Ollie Wines looking for the Brownlow right now?
Unbelievable. Cam, you called him at $81 for our Wing It podcast viewers and listeners. Unbelievable.
He's
Obviously,
$4.50, second favourite right now.
Cam, myself, and some wise Wing It podcast listeners got on. And now he's, into second favourite, which is just a feat in itself, to be honest. Calling that.
81s.
And now we're the last sort of 6 or 7 games for the season, which is
and he's
a bit scary, by the way.
he's a genuine shout now.
Oh, 100%.
He's a genuine shout.
If he keeps going the way he is, he will win it. Like I'm quite.
And with our
confident
draw, he loves beating up on lower teams.
Yeah.
With our draw,
like he showed against Gold Coast.
like against Gold Coast and against Hawthorn.
Yeah.
He had 40+ touches in both games. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come for Ollie Wines and our bet on the Winger podcast. I'll be resharing that heavily. Anyway, that's the last game we're going to talk about. We're going to move on to our Wing It Player of the Weeks. Now, I'm going to go first in my Player of the Week. I'm going with a different one. We've always said the Player of the Week has to be a bit of an unknown or a young kid. I've gone with Tom Atkins from Geelong.
I love this pick. Very underrated.
Yeah. I read this in an article. So this isn't my work, but I read it in an article. Tom
Why
Atkins.
was you not taking credit for something?
Yeah, it's true. But this first part is my work. But Tom Atkins obviously has been used as a half forward, small forward, pressure forward role the last, his career.
Yeah.
And then he's been moved back to defence this year. And I'd say by necessity, purely because they've recruited Sean Higgins, Isaac Smith. They're taking that and Luke Dallas.
He's been squeezed out.
He's been squeezed out. So you could think a guy who's a fringe player like Tom Atkins would be losing his position. Anyway, Matthew Scarlett apparently had a conversation with Corey Enright, who's a forward and the defensive coach. They had a conversation regarding putting Tom Atkins back to defence. Well, not back, but to defence. So Matthew Scarlett gave it a shot. Now, Tom Atkins has become one of the most important players in that Geelong team. He played his best match as a cat on Friday by far. He had 29 disposals for the game, which is huge. And then he also had 8 intercepts. But how's this? He ranks 3rd in the competition for defensive ground ball gets.
Wow.
That's a huge statistic.
That is massive.
Defensive ground ball gets. That's when your defenders do the right. Your Tom Stewart's do the spoiling, and he's the man getting it out. He's that Tom Liberatore in defence.
Wait, that's what the Demons need.
That is a huge
As
statistic.
soon as the ball hits the ground for the Demons, that's when we're in trouble.
That's a huge statistic because it's very easy to have not very easy, but it's easier to have your Mays, your Levers who can just do all this punching, do all the marking.
But when the ball's coming in like chaos balls, that's when it gets ugly.
Who's going to get it? And that's where forwards like Richmond have made a precedence of it. So for him to be top 3, that is a huge achievement. And Tom Atkins to have 29 touches and a great game. He's my player of the week and he deserves some accolades this year. Absolutely. Might even be, he won't get all Australian shouts just because all Australians, it definitely deserves it, sorry. But all Australians,
Scored a 40?
Maybe, but all Australians very much a popularity contest, and no one thinks Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
But congratulations, Tom Atkins. You are my winger player of the week. The All-Australian board might not give you the recognition, but we will.
Great shout there. Great shout. Do love it. That's why this podcast, this segment, of the podcast is so pivotal. So the players who don't get as much credit are getting that credit more and more. So
exactly right.
Shout out to you guys. But my wing it player of the week this week goes to Zach Bailey. So we mentioned him before.
Woo!
He's a Norwood boy, as I found out about 10 seconds ago.
Norwood.
Could not find actually what school he went to, but I'm going to guess PAC because why not?
That's a good guess.
So Zach Bailey last week was unbelievable. Hinted on it before. 10 clearances, 26 touches to go along with 3 goals. And Dane Zorko was just down and out in that game. Lachie Neale laid out. Zach Bailey stepped up and he was that inside midfielder ball sort of. And going forward, kicking goals. Unbelievable what he's shown at such a young age. And it's just been his breakout year this year. So we saw him get that tackle on Blitzarves, which should have won them the game against Geelong at the start of the season. And also then he kicked the winning goal after the siren against Collingwood. And then this week, he's just doing what he's been doing all year and been kicking goals is the main thing from their midfield. Because that's one thing that Brisbane have really lacked. And I'm not going to say that Zach Bailey's put them over the top, but last year they couldn't get a single goal out of the midfield. McCluggage had one of the worst shot accuracies.
He had the shots, but he couldn't convert.
One of the worst shot accuracies on goal. Jared Lyons cannot kick a set shot to save his
Neale,
life.
not much better.
Neale is shocking in front of goal at the best of times. Zach Bailey, and then Zorko obviously is doing well, but when Zorko's quiet like this and plays a lot of forward time, Zach Bailey's gone in there and he's been that sort of bounce from midfield, being that damaging player like the Goies, the Truckers, the Dustin Martins of the world. He's sort of playing that role for the Lions and really going under the radar. So congratulations to Zach Bailey. Probably could even be a shout for All-Australian squad of 40 this year, to be honest.
He's been fantastic.
He's been that good. So congratulations, my wing it player of the week.
All right, moving on to our preview.
Yeah.
I'll bring up...
wing it tip-off.
Should we bring that up now? Or
should we bring it up now, yeah.
Well, actually, I'll grab the board. So, you know what? You have the floor. Just real quick, I'm going to grab the board.
Yeah, so the wing it tip-off, Cam and I very conveniently started it last week after I've been absolutely dominating the tips this year. Up to about, I think I've hit the ton, to be honest, in tipping this year. So I'm up in the top 1,000 in Australia. absolutely tearing it up right now. If I'm
But
saying
nobody gives a fuck because Dogger decided to choose to start the season when I hit the front.
So
7 tips last week in
Cam's
a tough
got
week.
one more tip than me. That's
So
about it.
Dogger on 6 last week. I am on 7. What a week to be alive
Is this true or rubbish?
for me. I tipped the Giants and I go and tip
You didn't tip the Giants
on the podcast. I did. And
this is very, very controversial.
well, this is what I did
So
because
Cam's taken his right tips from the tipping
Untrue.
competition and the right tips from the podcast and put them together.
what I did was I listened back to exactly what I said in the podcast, and this is exactly what I said in the podcast. For some reason on ESPN, I always change my tips. Anyway, on the podcast, for all our loyal listeners, I obviously called Gold Coast. I called GWS Giants, and I am on 7 tips. So, yes, I'm in 7. 7, Doggers on 6. It's a great start to the season. Seasons can start whenever the fuck we call it. So, huge start. Now let's get on with our preview. And
That's
I'm
all
going
right.
to go
I know I'm
7
going to outlast you for the
plus
rest of the
again.
season. So.
You know, I should have been higher. I probably should have tipped Carlton because I tipped them all year. So I didn't. So I should have been on 8. Let's be real. Let's rock and roll. First game, Thursday night. Is this the Wing It Showdown?
It is the Wing It Showdown this year.
Port Adelaide
huge.
taking on Melbourne. Port Adelaide are 2.5 point favourites.
This could make or break the atmosphere of the podcast next week.
This really could because
Hopefully it's a draw.
Nah, fuck that. I want you to lose. This is the showdown for me.
Yeah.
Or for both of us. Well, I wonder who you're tipping.
Oh, I'm obviously going to be tipping the Demons in this one.
Obviously, tipping the Port.
Well, I think the Demons, we need to respond from last week. I think it's going to be bad timing for you guys. You switched off last game early.
We rested for you this week.
No, you switched off. We've got Ben Brown coming in, which can be positive or negative, but I think we're going to need it against your tall defense. So I think our forward line's going to cause you all sorts of headaches with your matchups. I don't think you got a proper matchup for Fritsch. I think Benny Brown is going to take a defender out of the equation, and Tommy McDonald, no one can run with him, and I think he's going to bring a defender like Aliir right up the ground and make him a not part of the contest whatsoever.
You do know Cleary's back, and we're going to keep McKenzie in, and therefore Aliir is going to be solo.
Yeah, no, I don't care.
We're going to drop Linnett for one of them.
It won't happen. So, no, you guys are in some serious trouble this week. So, obviously, we are just going to absolutely tear you up in the midfield. I think that's a given. Butter's coming back, underdone. You got Cleary coming back.
He had 22
underdone.
and 1 in the sample.
Yeah, and he only
Cleary
played-
had 17 in the sample. Well,
Yeah.
not 17, but he had a lot.
And yeah,
Hartlett's probably
doesn't
back at
matter.
34
They're underdone.
touches.
You saw the Eagles they brought in some star midfielders. They brought in some backs. They
They
brought
didn't
them all
play
back.
Waffle week before.
And yeah, they did.
Well, it doesn't matter. They suck.
And they all just
I doubt
fell.
Shuey did.
And when the engine room is not clicking, when there's no oil, lubricating all the cogs, it's just going to fall down. So we're on an absolute tear right now.
You've lost 3 of the last 5.
No, we've
Whatever it
won. We're 1-1 since the bye, and we got the kick up at the arse we needed. A really tough game last week. We're going to come into Adelaide Oval. We're going to shake up the fucking house.
No, Dogger is right, though. When your engine room isn't oiled, it is a problem. So when you have the Brownlow medalist potential winner, Travis Boak,
Who's had hamstring tightness, probably won't even play like half the game.
Travis Boak, who had a precautionary scan and he came back clear, is playing. And then you throw in Zach Butters into that midfield. He wasn't even supposed to be in the midfield, but it's our most important player.
All right, I'm putting it out right now. Ollie Wines to get under 22 touches this week. James Harms is going to go to him.
James Harms is going to go to Boak.
There is no, he won't.
Because he can't touch Wines.
There is no better player in the AFL.
Are you kidding?
To body Ollie Wines.
James Harms is the size of a fucking peanut.
James Harms is huge.
Ollie Wines has thighs bigger than James Harms' family tree.
The only thing Ollie Wines has bigger than James Harms is a fucking head.
No, yes, and his
That's
fucking
it.
thighs.
That's
his
it.
thighs scrape. He has chafing in between his thighs. That's
I
how
don't
big
care.
they are.
No, James Harms is going to absolutely tear.
No, he will go to
him
Boak
a new
because he
one.
can't touch Wines. He's not big enough, strong enough.
He will. He's the
Oh,
perfect person
Matthew.
for it. And then we're
Anyway.
going to chuck in Viney, midfielder Viney,
Viney's for 2.
Viney, Clary, and Harms,
Nice.
and you are going to get torn to shreds.
Clary's been dope the last month. So anyway, let's stop this chat because it's going to go on for hours. But yeah, obviously tips are split. Anyway, moving on. It's going to be a great game. This could be a make or break for next week's podcast, whether I rock up or not.
What?
And I'm taking him to the game. I know. Taking him member's seat. And this is how he fucking acts.
What do you mean taking me?
Taking him a
I
member's
had to
seat.
pay. I had to pay for it.
Thanks to the members' seats. Unbelievable.
Turn it up.
Anyway, moving on to the Friday night game. Somehow this got a Friday night game. I don't know how, but anyway.
I think it will be a really good game.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be an 18-point margin, but like, how is it a Friday night game? Crom and the Saints. Crom and the Bombers, 20.5-point margin to the Bombers. I won't be taking anyone's line because it's just 20. It just seems so dead on.
Yeah, they've got it right.
It could be an 18 or a 21-point margin. I can't flip it. But Bombers win. But
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be taking the Bombers in this one. I think a lot of the people in our tipping competition, purely because they are Crom faithful, will be tipping the Crom.
That's bullshit because every single person in our competition who is a Crom faithful tips against the Crom every single week.
Fair, but
Tom Yates hasn't tipped Crom since 2017.
And he's still only third in the tipping competition.
It's unbelievable. Like,
and he messages me every week, are you scared?
Oh,
you're third. Overcome second and then we'll talk.
It just seems to be a very popular thing with the Adelaide Crom fans. They just like to tip against the... I would never tip against Port. Never.
I would never tip against
Even if we're playing against West Coast and Optus when we've got 3 players on the field, I'm thinking, well, we've got 3, we're a chance.
Exactly.
If they go Crom at home against bloody Brisbane, oh, God, no. Anyway, both tipping the Bombers here pretty comfortably. 20-point margin, perfect. On to the next game. We have Carlton and Geelong. I hate Carlton so much.
You're going to tip them?
No, I told you I'll never tip them again, and they go home in the next 2 weeks. Since I said that exact
2 in a row.
I won 2 in a row.
Always the way,
exact 2, and I would have tipped them both times. I'll be tipping Geelong here, and their line is 22.5, and because I hate Carlton, I'll be taking it.
I'll be taking the Carlton line in this one.
God damn you!
And I'm very tempted to actually take Carlton to win.
I hate you.
I don't know what it is.
You hate Geelong.
I do hate Geelong, but
Jeremy Cameron out.
Jeremy Cameron out, I think, brings a whole new dynamic into it. There's going to be a shift in the forward line. There's going to be more of an onus on Gary Rowan, which he's proved this year that he really likes being that third man.
He thrives.
He loves it. And I feel like they're going to be a bit sore from last week. It was a pretty hard game for about 3 quarters.
It was a tough game.
For about 3 quarters. But then they I think it kicked like 8 goals in the last quarter or something like that to absolutely blow out the margin. But no, I'm going to be taking Geelong in this one. But I think Carlton will actually keep it very, very close.
Fuck you, Carlton.
And maybe look at Zach Tui 30 touches, revenge game.
Oh, good in my fantasy. Love that.
Yeah, revenge game. And what about Fogarty? Fogarty revenge game. 2
and
goals.
On to the next game.
2 goals.
Nobody cares. On to our next game. Nobody gives a fuck about Fogarty. On to the... So many listeners at home are going.
BT says in every game, he goes, oh, bloody Geelong, they shouldn't have let him go. Says in every game.
I guarantee.
I think Geelong give a fuck.
Every single fan at home is going, Darcy Fogarty plays for the Crows. That's what they're thinking because no one even gives a fuck about Lockie Fogarty. Exactly. All right, on to the next game. Brisbane and St Kilda. This is still not confirmed venue-wise, this game actually.
Really?
We think it's going back to the Gabba, but it's still not confirmed. So, but Gabba or GMHBA or literally Tasmania, don't care. Brisbane by 30 for me.
Yeah, Brisbane will win here. If it's in the Gabba, I'll go 60 plus, honestly.
Yeah, done.
They're very happy to do that.
Brisbane, easy. On to the next one. We've got the next game who also hasn't been, only just recently confirmed, but no odds yet. GWS and Gold Coast, which will be at Mars Stadium in Ballarat.
Cat in the hat from Ballarat.
Yep, sure. I'll be taking GWS.
Yep.
Gold Coast had a great win last week, but it was one and done.
Yeah. I think GWS will get the easy game here.
And
Although this is the toughest task in the AFL, according to Cameron, their coach. He said, "Yeah, look, really good win last week, obviously against the Demons, but onto the next week with Gold Coast, probably the toughest task in the AFL."
Did I say that?
That was my hands. Yeah, he said that. So I don't really understand how this is the toughest task in the AFL.
I never said that.
Who?
He's Cameron.
No, not you.
I was thinking, what the fuck are you talking
Leon
about?
Cameron.
Oh my God. I was thinking, what the fuck are you talking about?
Leon Cameron said that last week. So, yeah, I think GWS quite easily in this one. Nothing to do with you, mate. The world is...
Tough a task in the AFL, you reckon?
That's what you reckon?
Playing Gold Coast away from home at Ballarat.
Yes. The world doesn't revolve around you, right?
I was very confused. You could say Leon.
So, I think the over-under for long sleeves worn in this game will be about 7.5. So, obviously, Western Sydney and Gold Coast. Yeah. What?
Probably low.
Yeah. Western Sydney and Gold Coast, pretty warm spots of the world. So I reckon they'll be absolutely freezing their ass off in Ballarat.
Both taking the Giants though?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, on to the next game. Hawks taking on Freo, 2.5-point line to the Fremantle Dockers. It's a coin flip of a game and the betting agencies agree. Tough game for me. I'm going to take Fremantle just because we tipped them last week, and I feel like they have to win this one if they want any contention of staying in the 8. Despite what Hawthorn showed in the second half against Port Adelaide, I don't think they have the consistency and the ability to keep up with the Fremantle team, despite how bad they've been away from home.
Yep. I would love to take Freo here for all the rationale you said. So obviously they need the win. They're fighting for that final spot. Last week they 100% should have beat Carlton.
Just poor kicking.
Yeah, 9 goals, 15 or 16 in the end,
Carlton
I think it was.
Kicked, like 2 behinds, I swear.
Yeah, Carlton kicked like 6 behinds, I think it was, to 10 goals or something like that. So yeah, I think Freo need to win this, but I'm actually just going to take the Hawks in this one.
Really?
It's at the MCG, isn't it?
Oh, this is looking good.
It's at the MCG, isn't it?
Continue talking.
Yes. So if it's at the MCG, I'll be taking the Hawks. Because I just think the Hawks really over the last few weeks have really proved they're not a bad side, and I think they're going to have too much class and talent for these Fremantle teams. So
it is in Tasmania.
Oh yeah, I'll be taking the Hawks even more then.
Yeah, that's going to help your argument, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. I just did. I was in Tasmania. Actually, don't care.
News to me, huh?
Yeah, news to me too. But Freo have to win. So onto the split tip again. There we go. On to the next game. Bulldogs taking on Sydney. Bulldogs 20.5-point favourites against Sydney. I will be taking doggies here. Yep. I don't think anyone can knock the doggies' form at all. You can't really knock Sydney's either, considering.
Yeah,
but doggies are just flying. If they're not number 1 in your power rankings right now, they're number 2.
Yep.
So doggies for me.
Yeah, I'll be taking the doggies in this one. Not really much to hint on. No. I think Sydney played really well last week against West Coast, who just nothing went right for them. So they just sort of gave up. But no, I'll just be going the doggies here pretty easily.
Nicest thing you've ever said about West Coast, right then.
West Coast suck. What do you mean? Nothing went right for them?
Nice. You said
yeah, so they gave up.
Nah, you said it really...
Just the way I said it.
You said it really nicely.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, on to the next game. Richmond and Collingwood. Who would have thought this would be a blockbuster 3 weeks ago?
Who would have thunk it?
9.5-point favourites, the Richmond Tigers.
I like it. I think I like that line.
I'm so torn in this game because Collingwood have to win because I've always been a big believer of new coaches get wins early.
Yeah.
And I think
likewise.
And Collingwood, I think, could have had 2 wins by now.
Yeah.
They were down ugly to St Kilda early. They came back and really showed some serious fight in that last quarter.
They were down bad about as much as you are right now.
Yeah, sure. And then they go and nearly win the game.
Yeah.
So I give that a lot of respect to to Collingwood.
Yeah.
And that gives me hope for this game.
I think this is going to be like an old school Richmond Collingwood blockbuster sort of big
from
game.
2012 when they both weren't like nothing.
No.
Like special, but it's going to be just a classic
game.
Yeah,
just like a classic, like quite high scoring. Quite a lot of points in it. But like, I think it'll be a relatively close game.
Yeah.
They'll keep it close all game. Collingwood will keep coming. And I think Richmond is going to grit it over the line for this one. So I'll be taking Richmond.
For me, I'm going against... I can't see Richmond losing 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And I can't see Collingwood losing 3 in a row with a new coach.
Draw.
They
drew 2 years ago.
The Pies.
Interesting. Split tip.
I'm going to take the Pies.
It'll be interesting to see if you actually count that one in your tipping next week.
No. Well, if I said the podcast, it counts on here. I'm going to actually be taking the Pies. So, fuck it. Why not? I'm going to take the Pies.
Why not?
I just think their top-end talent right now is better than Richmond's in terms of injuries.
Fair.
So, I'll be taking Collingwood. Well, why not? They should be enough in the last quarter. They're hot after 1 quarter.
There you go.
And on to the last game for the round. The Monday afternoon.
Monday night. Blockbuster.
Monday night, sorry. West Coast taking on North Melbourne. West Coast back in Perth. Pretty simple for me, West Coast.
I'm going to be taking West Coast just because it's back in Perth. If this was at Marvel Stadium, I would 100% be taking North Melbourne.
So the line is
26.5.
26.5. What are you thinking on the line?
No, I wouldn't touch it. I'd take the shin boners line, actually.
Really?
Yep. Last week I took the shin boners line, 49.5. Easy money.
It's pretty low line considering that they go and give them 50 points to play doggies and then give them 26 against West Coast back home.
Who West Coast beat doggies, lost the doggies by like 50. So yeah, makes sort of sense.
Yeah, but in Perth, don't know. Yeah, I know doggies did it in Perth, but anyway. All right, and obviously we didn't bring up the brown bet of the week because it wasn't a knock-on, but we're going to give it right now.
Yeah.
Our brown bats bet of the week actually has to do with the Fremantle game. No, it doesn't. We changed it. Start that again. We changed it last minute. My apologies.
So to go on from that, our brown bats bet of the week, Cam, what is it?
Yes, it actually goes straight into our last game of the round, which we just spoke about. We are going with Aaron Hall for 30-plus touches. He is paying $2.50 for 30 touches.
Overs if I've ever seen it.
He had 31 last week.
Yep.
He's been a pig all year.
Tied with McRae for the most, which not many players can do this season.
No, he's been one of the best possession getters in the game all season long. If you look, the only reason why his average isn't 30 plus is because of the meaty sub game and the injury 2 games, I believe. So he would probably be averaging 32, if we're being honest. He's been a pig this year, Aaron Hall. So we are going for 30 plus touches. We're going $30 on the 30 for 30. We love that. Thank you, Bill Simmons. So we're going with a 30 for 30 with Aaron Hall at $2.50. And that right there.
Pay out what, Cam?
And that would pay out $70.
Yep, well done.
No, 75.
No, $75.
Yeah, so they'll pay out $75, and that'll bring our total up to about, I don't know, like 155 or something.
Yeah.
So, is that right?
Yeah, roughly.
About that, 157 or something. So that'll bring our total up real nice and juicy.
Yep.
But we're leveling up a bit. We were subtle last week.
We were.
But with our brown bat better of the week this week, Aaron Hall, 30 touches, go for 2 for 2.
I love it.
Get on it.
Now, on to probably the best segment of the podcast, which everyone looks forward to every week. Last week, I was really keen on it. We've got a sponsor. We're in for it. But we just couldn't get over the line, unfortunately. We did lose last week. I don't know how many legs. I didn't really check. I think the first leg lost and then... the first leg lost, second leg won.
Do we want to bring it up?
First leg lost, second leg won, and the third leg was voided because Lockie Neal didn't play.
So we got one winning leg yet again.
One winning leg again. But you know what? We may as well just go for it again. So Law of Averages says we should be winning by now. Correct?
The Law of Averages was due 8 rounds ago.
So long. So that means we should get like 6 in a row. Let's try and go on a bit of a hot streak for the rest of the season. So anyway, to kill off Matt's multi this week.
This will be canned in 2022.
We're going for the Friday night blockbuster. We got Crows versus Essendon. And I'm going to be taking Zach Merritt 30 touches.
Love it. Oh, actually, I don't know if I love it.
So Zach Merritt, he's been a pig for many years now.
And bane of our existence.
Bane of our existence. We keep betting on at the wrong times and not betting on them at the right times. So Zach Merritt, 30 touches, averages about 28, I believe, this year.
Probably more.
Maybe more. I don't know. Not that I've done my research or anything like that. But
clearly not.
Crows have been giving up more and more fantasy points and touches to the midfielders of their opposition for the last few games.
Average is 31.8.
31, there you go. So all he has to do is get one under his average and then the bet will win. So, but no, Crows have been giving up more and more for the last few weeks and mainly giving up uncontested possessions as well, which obviously Zach Merritt does thrive off of. So that's the first leg. The second leg is an underperformer. I'm getting on him while the odds are juicy. So
I like that.
We've got the Sydney Bulldogs game on Sunday, I believe it is. And that is Jake Lloyd, classic touch getter, 25 touches. That's all we're asking for him. So 25 touches. The Doggies have been giving up quite a lot of disposals to Backman this season. So we saw Aaron Hall top the disposal getters for the last game against them. And they're also giving up heaps of uncontested possessions and uncontested marks, which Jake Lloyd will thrive off of. So him for 25 plus is the second leg of Matt's multi. And then the third leg of Matt's multi. What better to go than the brown bat's bet of the week?
Of course.
Perfect. So Aaron Hall, 30 touches on the Monday night. It all come down to this on the Monday night. We'll be sitting there, everyone who's on Matt's multi, who is gambling responsibly.
You heard already lost by Saturday.
Will be on the edge of their seats. And it will be thrilling on your Monday night. So get out a can of baked beans and a glass of water and really enjoy this one. So in totality, this comes to $5.43, I believe.
Boost to $6.50.
Boost to $6.50. Ken doesn't have any boost left on his account, so he doesn't actually know the exact amount. But no, so some lower value here, but we need to get a win on the board. So that's the most important thing for Matt's multi this week. But yeah, so to recap that, we're going Zach Merritt 30 touches, Jake Lloyd 25 touches, and Aaron Hall 30 touches as well. So gamble responsibly.
I like it. I say it every week, so I don't know if I should like it, but anyway.
Oh, well, yeah, all we can do is keep on pushing. So what does it power play to, Cam? $6. So free money, really. But no, onto our hot wings now, Cam.
Yes.
So you kick it off.
My hot wing for the week with Jeremy Cameron out, thanks to, Geelong's recklessness. My hot wing for the week will be Patrick Dangerfield. He's found himself back into form. He's going to go forward this week a little bit more than he did this prior week because of Jeremy Cameron's injury. He's going to snag 3 goals.
Huge to bet on a man who cannot kick a goal to save his life.
$10 odds for 3
Is
goals.
it actually $10 odds?
$10 odds.
Wow.
He's good for 2 goals a game normally.
Yeah.
I understand his goal kicking sucks, but it's Patrick Dangerfield.
If he's got 7 shots at it, I'll easily shoe him in for 1.
Exactly, maybe 2. So if he can snag 3 at $10 odds, it's worth a shot for me. So
For sure, especially with Jeremy Cameron out.
Exactly. So Patrick Dangerfield, 3 goals is my hot wing of the week.
I love it. So my hot wing of the week, I was looking at it earlier today and I was just really intrigued by it. So I was looking at some of the top touch getters in the league and I noticed right there at number 15, this player, and I was very, very, very confused to see him so high at 15 in the league with some of the best touch getters, obviously, we've got going around at the moment, averaging career highs, actually.
Pigs galore, really.
So like Zach Merritt, Darcy Parish, Clayton Oliver, Ollie Wines, all averaging career highs. He's still up there in the top 15. He's averaging the most for his team, which you wouldn't guess with some of the huge touch getters he's got on his team. And he is a true game winner.
He is.
And the fact is, this year his team is winning games.
They're in top 8.
In the top 8, in the top 6, I believe.
Yep.
And where in past years, when they've won games, he's polled well. And that's what they're doing this year. And that's the Sydney Swans. And that is Luke Parker.
Yeah, love it.
So this is a bit of an early Brownlow shout. I'm not calling him for the Brownlow. I'm not going that bunter.
Wouldn't go against Ollie Wines, no.
But Luke Parker for top 10 in the Brownlow. The market is not out yet. I can't find it anywhere. It was out early in the season. But I'm going to call Luke Parker top 10 for the Brownlow and maybe even top 5.
Well, he's paying $41 for the Brownlow right now, so you'd think he'd be paying some decent amount of money.
You think he'd be paying sort of double digits for top 10?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I think.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so definitely double digits
definitely
for
top 5. Maybe
Yeah,
top 10 would be around that $5 to $7 mark.
Because if you look through all of their wins, I don't see a game where he doesn't poll 2 or 3.
And even in games where they're lost, like that Port Adelaide game, he had 34 touches and a snag.
Definitely has 2 in that.
He at least gets a vote, no
I
matter
think
what.
he had 12 touches in the last quarter as
He
well.
gets a vote no matter what.
Yeah. So, with no one really taking votes off of him, like Lloyd obviously not taking any off of him. Franklin maybe kept taking a couple, hasn't
When
played that many
he has
games.
3 or 4 goals.
Yeah, when he has 4 or 5 goals, hasn't played many games this season. Callum Mills, in my opinion, will not take any off of him. JPK has been pretty average this year. He's been good in a couple of games, but that's all the games you really take votes off of him.
Yep.
But apart from that, I don't really see anyone taking votes off him. So, Lukey Parker, top 10 for the Brownlow. You heard it here first.
I like that.
That's
That's a really good bet. I can't wait till the odds actually come out. Who knows when?
Who knows?
But hopefully soon.
Well, they were out. I saw them a few weeks ago, and Ollie Wines was paying $1.33 for top 10 in the Brownlow. Now second favourite.
Probably paying $1.33 for top 2.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
So anyway, great bet. Anyway, that calls an end for another podcast.
Yeah, another episode of the Wing It Podcast, episode 20. We finally got here. How good is that?
Huge.
Massive.
I can't wait till we get to 50.
Yeah, next milestone 50.
Yeah,
So we'll think of some players for you next week that are number 21, so we don't leave you high and dry at the start of the podcast. So, but no.
I can't think of anyone. Anyway, moving on. Yep.
Yeah, make sure Dersma.
Oh, I knew there was one that was half noticeable.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram.
At Wing It Podcast.
Follow us on TikTok.
At Wing It Podcast.
And also have a look at us on Instagram. We're posting every week now, so.
Every week, at Wing It Podcast.
And I think some of you are actually listening to that because we're getting our viewership up a fair bit on the YouTube, even though we don't promote it as much as we should.
No.
So it's been pretty good on there.
Check us out at Wing It Podcast.
And also listen to us on Spotify, which you probably are now.
Of course, at Wing It Podcast.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Good night.